Welcome, welcome, welcome to today's edition of Mic Drops. It's September 11th, 2025. Today is the 24th anniversary of the horrific event that we know simply as 9/11. May the deceased rest in peace and may their families receive continuing comfort from the Almighty. That's all I'm going to say about that. Most of us today are still kind of responding to the murder of Charlie Kirk yesterday. I am not going to respond to that. I'm going to respond to the responses, or at least some of them. Many of the responses have circled around or congealed into a theme that might be expressed as political violence is never the answer. Charlie Kirk would disagree with that. I know that for a fact. I know that he would disagree with that because 9 months into the Biden presidency, at a Turning Point USA event, a member of the audience asked Charlie Kirk point blank, "When do we get to use the guns?" Members of the audience laughed, and so this gentleman said, to make himself very clear, how many elections are they going to steal before we kill these people? Charlie Kirk did not say political violence is never the answer. We have video courtesy of the Daily Kos, KOS. Let's take a look and take a careful listen to what Charlie Kirk did say.
You ready?
Yeah.
You're brave. You're brave for what you say and the fact that you stand up there and say it, and I appreciate it. I think we all appreciate it, actually, because there's not a lot of people that have the balls to do it. But I want to ask you something a little bit out of the ordinary. So prepare yourself. At this point, we're living under a corporate and medical fascism. This is tyranny. When do we get to use the guns? No, and I'm...
All right, there it is. When do we get to use the guns? Let's really think about the nature of the question itself. The nature of the question is one in which the questioner is not asking whether or not we should use the guns. Is it a good idea to use the guns? The questioner is already convinced of the goodness, if you will, and even the necessity of using the guns. The questioner is simply asking for some sort of permission or validation of when it would be okay to use the guns.
And I'm not, that's not a joke. I'm not saying it like that. I mean, literally, where's the line? How many elections are they going to steal before we kill these people?
So, no,
There it is. This is an American citizen seeking permission, validation, affirmation of his active desire to kill other American citizens. Let's see how Charlie Kirk responds.
no, hold on. No, stop. Hold on. Now I'm going to denounce that. I'm going to tell you why.
Let's take note of the fact that the question was met with laughter and applause in the congregation. I said congregation. I meant audience, but Freudian slip, I guess. It's not the guy himself who concerns me. It's all of the other people in the audience. The fact that there's a whole bunch of folks who applauded and laughed. But anyway, Charlie Kirk says, I'm going to denounce that. All right, fine. I think it's a question or an idea worth denouncing. So let's think about how might one denounce that. If I were in Charlie Kirk's position, I think I might say something like, number one, that's just crazy, bro. Yo, stop, back up, slow your roll, champ. No, that's a truly, truly bad idea. It's a bad idea because, first of all, you don't just go around killing people. That is immoral. Second of all, because it would be, illegal. It's against the law to just go around killing people. And thirdly, because it's un-American. That's not how we do things in America. We don't just go around killing people. Those are the things that I would come up with in denouncing the question itself or the idea behind the question. Let's see what Charlie Kirk came up with.
Because you're playing into all their plans and they're trying to make you do this. That's okay. Just hear me out. You started with a compliment, so at least give me a little bit. They are trying to provoke you and everyone here. They are trying to make you do something that will be violent, that will justify a takeover of your freedoms and liberties, the likes of which we have never seen. We are close to have, hold on, we are close to have momentum to be able to get this country back on a trajectory using the peaceful means that we have at us. So to answer your question, and I just think it's, overly blunt, we have to be the ones that do not play into the violent aims and ambitions of the other side. They fear, let me say this very clearly, they fear us holding the line with self-control and discipline, taking over school board meetings. They're the ones that are willing to use federal force against us. And I know that people get fired up. We are living under fascism. We are living under this tyranny. But if you think for a second that they're not wanting you to all of a sudden get that next level where they're going to say, okay, we need Patriot Act 2.0. If you think that, Waco is bad, wait till you see what they want to do next. What I'm saying is that we have a very fragile balance right now at our current time where we must exhaust every single peaceful mean possible. I will say this, Idaho has not even started to exercise the peaceful means of state sovereignty against the federal government. Not
All right, I'm pausing there because I want us to, first of all, take note of Charlie Kirk did not say that he was denouncing the questioner's question because it was immoral, or the idea behind it was immoral or illegal or un-American. He says basically, I'm denouncing that because it's not strategic. Because it's not strategic. Now, there are other means that we have at our disposal to fight back against this tyranny. Okay, let's go on.
Not even close. I'll give you 5 things Idaho could do right now. The governor of Idaho could sign an executive order that says there are no vaccine mandates for private, for public, for anyone. It's not going to happen. He could do that right now. Number 2, the governor of Idaho could come out and he could say, okay, BLM, Bureau of Land Management, EPA, you're out. We're governing our own lands. We're in control of our own territories. You're out of the state of Idaho. Number 3, Idaho could pick and choose through the state legislature which one of the federal laws they think actually apply to the Idaho Constitution. These things will push back against the tyranny you're talking about. A mistake would all of a sudden be getting into physical violent confrontation. You think that this regime has all of a sudden sprung into action? Wait until they get what they want. They want that. Why would we give that to them? Follow up point?
All right. So the desire to kill your fellow Americans is, for Charlie Kirk, not something to be denounced because it's immoral or illegal or un-American, but because it would not be strategic to do so yet. And I'm including the word yet because if you listen to his argument, He's saying that there are these other things, right, that we have available to us to do before reaching that point. And the questioner, you know, he's ready now. So as he's listening to all of this, I imagine him trying to take it in. And so he responds with this.
Point.
I just want to know where's the line.
The line.
Okay. I just want to know where's the line. All right. Okay. Yeah. There's all of this stuff you're telling me to do, but I'm ready now. Where's the line? Charlie Kirk continues, because Charlie Kirk, and this is really, really important, Charlie Kirk answers that question directly. Charlie Kirk is about to tell him and the world where the line is, so that when that line is crossed, it's okay to kill your fellow Americans. It's okay to use the guns.
Line is when we exhaust every single one of our state ability to push back against what's happening. We haven't even started. We have not even started the process of having Idaho or states like Idaho get back to self-government as our founders envisioned. They gave us state sovereignty. You outnumber the liberals like 8-1 here in this state. Why don't we start to use that muscle peacefully through local government, through city council? We haven't even started doing that, my friend. I know you think like, oh, we have, man, not what I've seen from the state capitol here in Idaho. I've seen pandering. I've seen, trying to go to the middle and all this. And so what is the line? Look, man, I think we're at the teetering edge of a regime that knows that good and decent Americans are going to get to the place in the movie network. I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore, right?
The questioner, I believe, is not prepared to go through all of the steps or all of the stages that Charlie Kirk talks about, because he's ready now. I don't think that this guy is going to go through all of the things that Charlie Kirk talks about. He is not that involved. He is not that engaged with the entire democratic process, if you will. He's ready now. I think that for that guy, the line that Charlie Kirk is describing for him is too far away to be anything other than a mirage, for it to be anything other than imaginary. I think that for this guy and for people like him, there's no there. But here's my point. For Charlie Kirk, in Charlie Kirk's mind, there very definitely is a there. There is a point. After trying all of these other things that he talks about, there is a point at which he would be willing to say, it's time to use the guns. It's okay to kill these people. I'm going to let him finish.
Well, guess what? Know that there's a deeper game at play. Understand the psychological warfare that's being played here. They're trying to animate you. They're trying to get you to do something that then justifies what they actually want to do. So what's the solution? We need to start to demand Idaho to be Idaho, and the federal government can stay out of the state of Idaho for just about everything. So thank you for being here tonight. Thank you.
And that is that. In this instance, at least, Charlie Kirk did not oppose political violence. He described the situations under which, or the circumstances under which, he would consider political violence acceptable. In speaking about the remedies or avenues of redress that would precede political violence, he kind of defines the line that must be crossed in order to justify political violence. That's how I see it. Let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree, think I'm crazy. That's fine. We can, we can, you know, we can talk. We can talk. Charlie Kirk did not matter in my life or in the life of anybody that I was close to, as far as I know. I have learned that he, in fact, had a very strong impact on the life of someone whom I care about. I don't think we've ever met, but I've come to care about her through interacting with her, of all places, on Facebook. Her name is Dr. Stacy Patton, or Patton if she pronounces it with a hard double T. I'm not sure. I learned about Charlie Kirk's impact on her life by way of a Facebook post. This is Dr. Patton's post on Facebook about the impact that Charlie Kirk had on her life. If you're on Facebook, you can find it by looking her up. I'm going to read part of it. She writes, I am on Charlie Kirk's hit list. His so-called professor watch list, run under the umbrella of Turning Point USA, is nothing more than a digital hit list for academics who dare to speak truth to power. I landed there in 2024 after writing commentary that inflamed the MAGA faithful. And once my name went up, the harassment machine roared to life. For weeks, my inbox and voicemail were deluged. Mostly white men spat venom through the phone. The B word, the C word, the N word. They threatened all manner of violence. They overwhelmed the university's PR lines and the president's office with calls demanding that I be fired. The flood was so relentless that the head of campus security reached out to offer me an escort because they feared one of these keyboard soldiers might step out of his basement and come do me harm. And I am not unique. Kirk's watch list has terrorized legions of professors across this country. Women, Black faculty, queer scholars, basically anyone who challenged white supremacy, gun culture, or Christian nationalism suddenly found themselves targets of coordinated abuse. Some received death threats. Some had their jobs threatened. Some left academia entirely. Kirk sent the loud message to us. Speak the truth and we will unleash the mob. That is the culture of violence Charlie Kirk built. I'm going to end there. The President of the United States took to the airwaves last night to issue a statement to the American people regarding the death of Charlie Kirk.
My great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah.
All right. A lot of people are experiencing grief. He's not just experiencing grief, he is experiencing anger. Make a note. Because when this guy gets angry, well, who knows what may happen.
Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United
He devoted himself to the cause of open debate as long as you weren't on the watch list.
States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate.
Joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate, unless you're on the watch list.
His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing.
Hold on. We're taking a shift here. We're turning away from the tribute to Charlie Kirk to something else. Let's make a note of this.
Fact that violence and murder for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible.
Hold on, sir. Violence and murder are the direct result of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year. Dude, you are the most demonizing guy on the planet. You cannot speak 5 minutes without demonizing somebody. We should just go ahead and call you Demonizing Don. Oh my Lord. How do you even say that with a straight face?
For years, those on the radical left have come.
Boom! Demonization, the radical left. Suddenly, we're not talking about Charlie Kirk anymore. We're talking about the radical left.
Compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today.
What terrorism are we seeing in our country today? Please be more specific, sir. Any degree of specificity would be nice.
And it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity.
Hold on. All right. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity. We all recognize that this goes way beyond saying law enforcement will apprehend the killer and help to bring them to justice in a court of law. He is not talking about Charlie Kirk. He is not talking about the person who killed Charlie Kirk. He's talking about each and every one of those who contributed and who contributed, or anyone who, in his view, has engaged in demonizing people, especially anyone from the radical left who has engaged in demonizing people, because they have all contributed. Don't sleep on this, folks.
and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country.
All right. So he's not talking about apprehending the killer. He's talking about going after each and every person who has contributed to something. And contributing, I mean, since this is a direct result of demonization and a direct result of rhetoric from the radical left, each and every one who's contributing is anybody who has engaged in the rhetoric that he disapproves of. And oh, now we're adding not just people who engage in a certain type of rhetoric, but everyone and anyone who may fund or contribute to any of those people. George Soros, are you listening? All right.
From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which
Personal note, the first time that I saw the video footage of the shooting in Butler, I said, wow, that looks staged and fake.
killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York.
Notice how he lumps in ICE agents with the murder of an executive on the streets of New York. People resisting ICE agents are on the same level as Luigi. People resisting ICE agents are on the same level as Thomas Crooks, the shooter in Butler, PA. Don't sleep on this, folks.
To the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others.
Okay, let's talk about cherry picking for a moment, shall we? Just 3 months ago, on June 14th, Melissa Hortmans, Speaker of the House of Representatives in the state of Minnesota, was murdered in her bed, along with her husband, Mark, while they slept. Donald Trump does not mention her, does not mention them. Oh, but she was a Democrat, so I guess she doesn't deserve to be mentioned.
Radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight,
Radical left political violence, not political violence, radical left political violence, because violence from the right doesn't exist.
I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
I've been sitting here for a while trying to figure out how to wrap this up. It's getting late on Thursday evening. As of this moment, 9:27, according to my Google search of current news items, Charlie Kirk's murderer has not yet been apprehended. The FBI has a person of interest that they've issued a photo of. So the guy has not been caught. So we don't know yet. No one knows yet who he is. I shouldn't say no one, but law enforcement does not yet know who he is, who he might have been affiliated with, what his political views are. We don't know any of that. And this is late on Thursday evening, Thursday night. And yet, on Wednesday afternoon, bunches of people rushed to declare the murder of Charlie Kirk to be a political assassination carried out by someone on the left. Nancy Mace in particular, I'm not going to bring up the video, you can look it up. She basically lost her mind, charging the murder to leftist lunatics. Nobody knew anything about who did it, but she knew who was responsible. Leftist lunatics. And the President of the United States, in the address that I shared with you, told the world that the radical left was responsible, even though law enforcement has not apprehended anybody. I'm going to remind everybody listening that the shooter at Trump's rally in Butler, PA last July was a registered Republican. We simply don't know yet, folks. It behooves all of us to exercise a little bit of humility, right? To lay aside enough of our certainty to be willing to say we don't know.